What if I was to tell you that you have already failed 2025 before it's even started? I'll tell you why. Because you're going to repeat the same behavior you do every single year. And in this video, I'm going to stop it in its tracks. I'm going to give you some simple things that you should already be doing. But right now, most of you will be more open-minded to it because it is the start of the year. Yesterday was divorce day. Universally, most people get divorced or file for divorce on the 6th of January. Why do you think that is? On the 15th of January, I think it's 14th or 15th, is Quitters Day. And what that resembles is when most people, they give up on their goals, they give up on their dreams already. And both of those are actually interlinked. Is because emotions are high. Through the festive period, through December, you start mapping out the new year. You think, right, new year, new me, like these things exist for a reason. Or you think that your life works calendar to calendar. And that's the biggest lie that you've ever been sold. And that's where you fall into the trap. So this video, I aim to avoid you falling into this trap so you're not in another situation where you wait until the end of the year to then start again. So let's keep it simple. Think of it like this. How do you stop negative behaviors getting out of control? You have things in place to prevent it from happening in the first place. And it can just be like simple thought patterns. So imagine you're mapping out your year and you look at 2024 and you think somewhere throughout the year, because you can assess it and go, I wasn't up to my standard or whatever of what I wanted to achieve. And then things started coasting and you don't really know why. Well, if you was to ask yourself, the days that I didn't do what I needed to do, was it below or above my standard? You're going to get your answer really quickly. So let's say, for example, someone started to quit smoking in 2024, and then somewhere throughout the year, they started again. It's like, right, I started to quit, but then, life got difficult and I'd done it again. This is a common thing that happens with not just smoking, with alcohol, etc. Without getting too into the addictive part, the reason why is because they allowed the emotions of just day-to-day life. So let's say, for example, that person works. They work in a job where some part of the year, everything was good, everything was sweet. They're just going into work regularly. And at some point in the year, maybe their boss became an arsehole from their perspective. Like, our work's now more stressful. And now something else is more stressful. Oh, and then now my energy prices have gone up a little bit. So what they do is they use justifications versus standards. So then the justification of, oh, but I started smoking again because, boss is an arsehole, this, you're either going to be someone who talks yourself into this and you just go straight back into your old self, or you set a new standard. It's not about perfection, but it's about putting things in place that stops you from yourself, because the only person that's getting in the way of your success is you. And that's a perspective in and of itself. So it can be really simple. I've got a journal here, right? Take the journal and you write out standards, and you're going to write below standard, above standard. And then once you've written that out, you're going to figure out really quickly, right, whether when you're under pressure and you've got, the weight of the world feels like it's on your shoulders, you ask yourself on those days, because you will feel it, is this above or below my standard right now? Because part of fixing something is just bringing the awareness to it in and of itself. You don't need to be perfect in your pursuit of fixing something, but I would rather someone not say to me, hey Mark, I started this new habit at the start of the year. Everything was going smooth for 3 months and then life got stressful. Again, see, same bullshit justification. Something got difficult, there was too much pressure, therefore that justifies me being my old self again. Absolutely not. Where you can give yourself a fighting chance if you had standards. So then when that happens and you do feel those emotions, and then there's this urge to either start smoking again or going out on a Friday night and hanging around with negative people that you usually wouldn't hang around with, but now you feel miserable. So you think, oh, guess what? I feel this urge to want to complain. So guess what I'll do? I'll go link up with some old friends that I know they're negative. I can kind of drown myself in those sorrows a little bit, because I can go there, bitch about my boss, moan, complain, and they will all accept it because they do the same stuff. Where that would be like, right, is that above or below my standard? And most people don't realise throughout the year, you're going to do this at some point. You will coast at some point, and then you'll get to November again and go, oh, this year wasn't really a great year. I just found myself coasting. Well, no shit you found yourself coasting, because you never even attempted. I've got no issue with people going through hard times, because people go through hard times, you get hit with curveballs. It's unreasonable to expect every single person to just, know how to navigate every tough situation in their life. That's not how this works. But what you can do is put things in place to know what it looks like when you're performing below your standard or above your standard. This is something that I shared with people called the zombie warrior. This will help you out a lot. So whenever those days where, let's say you grab a journal, I'm assuming you're someone who's got some sort of order in your life, and if you haven't, you should be aiming for 3 to 5 things, goals, things that you can do every single day that are going to play a role in this bigger grand plan that you might have for yourself. On those days where you don't feel as inspired, as motivated, as on the ball, as sharp, and you feel like there's a lot of pressure going on in your life, the zombie warrior has to come out. And that is essentially this version of you that even when most people couldn't perform, you still perform to the best of your ability, as strong as you can, and you mark that on the page. And the reason why you mark that on, you can even draw a little zombie emoji. I don't know how good your drawings are, but draw whatever you like, or just star the page. And at some point, let's say it gets to June, and that you're going to have a conversation with yourself. This happens to everyone, by the way. You're going to have a conversation with yourself, and you sit there and go, fuck, 6 months has gone by. I'm not where I want to be. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And you're going to get down in the dumps, you're going to beat yourself up, and then self-sabotage kicks in, it's a downward spiral. Or you can go, right, hold on a minute. Let me just grab this journal right here, and let's look back. Let's go January, February, March, April, May, June. And I can look back and go, right, so I had 3 days in Jan, 2 days in Feb, 1 day in March, etc., etc. And you're going to be able to count and go, I've got 17 days locked down in which I was a zombie warrior, which basically you turned into a savage. And even when it was really hard and you got hit with a curveball upon curveball upon curveball, you still performed to the best of your ability. You're no longer going to dwell in this perpetual cycle of, I'm not where I want to be, bullshit mentality. And then you're going to go, the average person would crumble, and now I've got 17 of those days that even when I didn't feel like doing it, guess what, I got it done anyway. I got it done. I didn't just get it done, I got it done with a fucking smile on my face. And that is the mentality you have to adopt if you want to win. If you want to fail in 2025, don't listen to anything I'm saying, carry on, because remember, 15 days into the year, your emotions have already left you. All of that hype and excitement where you're like, this is going to be my year, and every ounce in your body actually fully believes that. These people that quit within 15 days, like none of these individuals expect that motivation will leave them. Do what you said you was going to do when you said you was going to do it, long after the mood that you said it in has left you. Now that's a tongue twister, but I remember when someone said this to me for the first time, I was like, wow, that's so true. Because when you say to your friend, right, I'm going to meet you on Friday, let's say it's a good friend of yours, I'm going to meet you on Friday, and you're excited and everything's good, and then something happens somewhere down the line and you just can't be bothered anymore. Again, you become unreliable, because how many of you will say, I want to do this, but that mood has left you, so no longer you don't want to do it anymore. Well, hold on a minute, I thought your why was strong. I thought at the start of the year you said, oh, I want to be a 6-figure trader, or I want to be an entrepreneur, or I want to start this business. I thought that this was important to you, where somewhere down the line, no fucking standards. Where are your standards? You either perform below your standard or above your standard. I'm filming this right now for a reason. Last night, barely any sleep. Just one of those nights where you toss and turn and you just can't get to sleep. My mind was racing. I was thinking about too many goals, too many things, and I just couldn't get to sleep. Lots of things going on. Family things going on, right? Health issues, having to deal with that. Not for myself, but other people, and you still have to show up for your family. Navigating all of that, then still have a busy day, still have to show up, still have to trade, still have to do multiple different things, multiple different hats. And then in the midst of all of that, even an hour ago, get hit with curveballs that you need to deal with. What do? Like, right, I have that conversation, that mental conversation with myself. Do I feel like doing all the things I need to do today? Absolutely not. Genuinely, don't feel like doing it today. But guess what? I'm going to perform above my standard, because below my standard is just unacceptable. It's just not good enough. And I'm telling you this because if you want to win in 2025, you're going to have so many more of these days than what you think. And most people that don't succeed in life is not because they don't have the IQ, don't have the resources, don't have the right people around them. It's not just that. It's because they fail to realize there's these little golden opportunities on days where you don't feel like doing what you need to do, and you just need to grab it and you need to thrive with it. But if you do that and then have no documentation of it, how are you going to pick yourself up when it comes to September and you have that little moment where you have a bit of a wobble and you feel like you should be further on in life, or you've got other pressures, or your family are asking you, why are we not moving to a bigger house yet? And you've got kids and you've got all these other things that are going on, and you've got nothing to look back on and go, hold on a minute, I'm actually incredibly proud of myself that I made no excuses and I'm a fucking zombie warrior and I just get it done regardless. Like, this is the mental model you need to go into 2025. We've already started. Don't fall into this bullshit trap of every other person. You cannot think like, talk like, walk like, behave like the average person, because the average person stays in exactly the same place and they are the new resolutions person, fresh slate. They think their life works calendar to calendar. It doesn't. It starts right now. I promise you. I'm going to be bringing a lot more this year, this type of thinking. If you can tap into this energy source, you will achieve so much this year than what you could possibly imagine. This thinking has completely transformed my life.